I think what our report does is, for the first time, we can prove quantitatively through data only that the UAE is not only supporting mercenaries in Sudan, but that these mercenaries were facilitating war crimes. What our report did was track more than 50 devices that were associated with the Colombian mercenaries. They were all speaking Spanish. They were all at military bases across Sudan. And we tracked 3 of them in our report. We really highlighted 3 of them. And these 3 devices did different things across Sudan. One of them was a drone pilot. We know that because his Wi-Fi network was named Drones, and it was located about 5 kilometers from a remote runway. It was made in the middle of nowhere. The second device seemed to be just a normal trainer in Sudan. His Wi-Fi network was called Lobos del Desierto, which was the name of a mercenary group associated with a sanctioned company based out of the UAE. And then another device was trained in Gaddafi, the UAE. They visited a military base there before traveling onward to Kufra, eventually Sudan. So we found a couple of devices that were trained at this military base in the UAE, in Gaddafi. There they were trained in drone operations. And I think what's important as well, lastly, is that these mercenaries were present at the fighting in El Fasher in October when the RSF took it over. So one of the devices was named Atacador. Their Wi-Fi network was named Atacador, which is attacker in Spanish, which gives you some idea of what they were doing during the RSF takeover. And so those are the 3 real highlights. I think what's really important is that what our report highlights is the new logistical supply chain that's going through Kufra. We tracked a real increase in flights associated with UAE arms shipment going to Kufra. And then on the same day that our report came out, there was a UN panel of experts report that came out highlighting how the arms flow really goes through southern Libya, and it's a staging point for the RSF. But what's important to note is that I think that the UAE is always going to find logistical hubs somewhere, right? It's a bit like whack-a-mole. That doesn't make our report futile. What our report does is it really raises the costs of UAE operations. It exposes them. It exposes individuals who are involved with it. So I think that there is a real big impact there. I think what's interesting as well is that these Colombian mercenaries are involved in such a complex network. There are shell companies involved in their operations in Sudan. They were flying drones, they were training, and they were really critical and a necessary condition for the RSF takeover because of their drone operations, right? Without this air power, the RSF wouldn't have been able to take over El Fasher without the training they were providing. But if you think about the amount of money that the Emiratis are putting in, the El Fasher is in territory that the RSF controls. So yes, it was successful in taking over El Fasher, but it hasn't been successful in really altering the kind of general state of the war beyond Darfur, right? They haven't been successful necessarily in the rest of the country, these mercenaries, in helping the RSF take over territory. And so I think that's really interesting as well.